Hello, AAD. This is Shannon coming to you with the May update, video update. I am just closing up the first Mastery Leads offsite since this new leadership team was put in place. And then a couple weeks ago, I also was able to get the AAD leadership team in place. And I want to give you some highlights of what were the focus of these areas and what's top of mind for me. But before I go into the detail, we are experiencing just a crisis here in the United States. And I know many of you feel it with just the out of control shootings and violence in this country. And it's debilitating for many of us. It's been a really rough 24 hours with the recent shooting, but no less significant than the shootings that happened in Buffalo and the continued racial violence against Asians. It's constant, it's exhausting, it's inhumane, and if I'm honest, I'm having a really hard time processing, in addition to holding space for what does action look like. So I share that with you just because I'm sure many of you, may not be aware, this is not a widespread problem outside of the U.S. With the amount of violence, but to extend some grace and space and opportunities to talk through it and process together, I think is extremely important. So I know Google is very good at offering those spaces. I want to just offer that. I know many of your individual teams are offering spaces to discuss and process, and also just offer you to take your own time in space, because this all affects each of us differently. To me, I'm like sitting in a space where this feels like every day, and it feels, like I said, like we're choosing to live this way. Which is just like a really hard thing for me to process, and a really hard thing, like sitting down with my kids to try to explain it and provide some inspiration to act in a way that is authentic to our family, etc. So I would be remiss not to mention what I think the last few weeks have been really hard with the amount of violence that continues in this country, and the acts against innocent children, innocent elderly, and just people. So just important for us to stay together and offer space for us to process it individually. So I know that's a lot, and it's an extremely hard way to transition overall to business topics for May, but I'm going to attempt to do so. So as mentioned previously, or at the top of this, we were able to get together as an AAD leadership team to kind of talk about some 3 strategic areas that we know is extremely important for this team and the wider Mastery team as a whole. Obviously, some time to connect as a new leadership team and start to put some structure and foundation for this AAD team as a whole on what is our value, what are our values, what is our mission, and what is our purpose. So I'm really excited. I'm going to link a slide to kind of the overall mantra and the way we're thinking about our mission, our vision, and our values. And, everything is rooted in kind of what is our purpose for our team? What do we go do? What are we thinking about that is more idealistic of a North Star down the road? And how we really meet and deliver what this team was set up to do. So take a look at it. Our mantra is business-driven, learner-obsessed. We have a really clear mission, vision, and purpose. And I want to hear your feedback. And more importantly, we will engage each and every single one of you of how do we actually bring this to life within our teams. So many of you may have semantic changes or thoughts that maybe not resonate with you. I want to hear them, but I actually want to stay more focused of how do we bring these values, this mission and this purpose actually to life and what we do every day for our audiences. So that's number one. Number two, we dove into 3 strategic areas, which is we started talking about business planning, in addition to what does a curation workflow look like? And what do we even define as curation? One of AAD's main opportunities is how we customize and curate content to meet our audience needs. So we started talking through what is the workflow, what are the challenges, dependencies. And last but not least, there's a lot lying on our activation team and how we hand off from when we build something to how we activate and deliver it across our learning experiences. So just kudos to, the experience team that has really leaned in and started to map out what are these milestones as we consult, build, and actually deliver, and starting to get really clear on R&R across our systems and teams. And that's inclusive of GCT and AAD. So share the work. I'd love to share the agenda and the exposure and the deck, so you start to see kind of the work that we push forward and our clear AIs and next steps across each of these areas. As I mentioned, I also sitting here in the Mastery Leads offsite, where we took a similar approach the last couple of days, first getting to know each other a little bit deeper, in addition to diving into revisiting our mastery vision and mission and values, in addition to looking at how we're going to approach the plan of the plan for business planning. And then we also spent some time with our GTM tools team and started to develop, since they are another part of our enablement side, how we can actually work more closely together in some strategic ways for enablement across all our audiences in general. So that's where I've been. That's what's top of mind. It has everything to do with kind of our future and our focus, both as a team in addition to as a Mastery wider team. So wanted to share some of those materials with you, so give you line of sight on the agenda and the AIs. And more importantly, just extend to you all that we're just beginning. These are foundations that are set for our team, and I'm really, really excited as we continue to dive in. And I hear the needs across the team on clear R&Rs, in addition to just a really inspiring North Star for us to march towards. In addition, that I wanted to bring an update to you on our offsite, since this is kind of the theme of this video, which is I'd like to try to make Dublin happen. I've gotten a lot of feedback from all of you, so more to come on that. But in order to make it happen, we have to do this as efficiently as possible, which means we would have designated flights from each of the areas where each of you are, with maybe 2 options. But if we can do that along with our hotel stay, we can make Dublin happen. So as I mentioned before, the week of September 8th, you will start to get a form with flight options for you, and then they would be booked for you. So super, super excited. Believe me, if there's anything I learned over the course of the last couple of weeks, being able to get the leadership team together and this Mastery leadership together, is you can accomplish so much in person, and the connection and level of connection you have with people goes far greater as a result. So I want to make sure that this team has that opportunity to do that. So, get ready to go to Dublin the week of September 8th. And last but not least, I of course want to give some time for our best practice sharing. And I have Adam here, Olson from our GTAC team, our services team, who's going to share a little bit about the work he's done in the discoverability area with GTAC that I think our business partners, and in addition to kind of across their team, to get more exposure about both what are some areas and strategic areas that we're working on with GTAC, and how could we learn from this across some of the other challenges, because I would say they are equal across all the audiences in this area. So I'll hand it over to Adam. But before I hand it over to Adam, the last thing I want to say is I am so proud of the work and the collaboration that I am seeing across all of our business partner team, in addition to our new manager team, on this grad rollout. And I know many of you probably don't feel this on a day-to-day basis, but this is a massive opportunity for this team as we're leaning into manager enablement for this new performance management system that we're all learning about. And I would just tell you, there is so much complexity and ambiguity, and this whole team is really rallied, including GCT, including the other parts of our system, is rallied around us truly being able to enable this activation for GBO managers in a very short period of time with a ton of complexity and ambiguity. And I just wanted to say, I see all of you. It is pure chaos, and we're bringing structure in addition to, we are enabling something for the first time in a very quick and agile way, which I would say is not what we're known for. So just a huge thank to everyone that is touching that. Special thanks to Matt, who's leading through this right now. But I would be remiss not to say, I see the teamwork that's happening across this team, and I couldn't be more proud. So, all right, I'll hand it over to Adam. Sorry for the somber start. I have space for anyone who like to discuss what is happening in this world right now. So my door is always open on that, and I cannot wait to get us all together live in Dublin. So get your, get your suitcase ready to be able to get together and see everyone and toast a pint or water or whatever is your fancy. All right, I'll talk soon.